President Joko Widodo denies lockdown and chose micro-community restriction as it would save the economy. Bank BCA has given time loan facility to the Exim Bank. Hello, good evening viewers. Market Headlines is ready to provide you information from business, economic and capital market sector. And as the pandemic is still going on, we will provide you the latest COVID-19 information. And please stay safe by taking some simple precautions such as physical distancing, wearing a mask, avoiding crowds, cleaning your hands and having less mobility. And with me, Fajar Wayong, this is Market Headlines. Let's start market headline. President Joko Widodo stated that the government still decided to implement micro-community activity restrictions or micro-PPKM rather than lockdown to control the COVID-19 case. Indonesia became the first country in Southeast Asia to record 2 million COVID-19 cases. This number was achieved after a spike in cases of the coronavirus in recent weeks. President Joko Widodo does not deny that many urges for regional quarantine or lockdown in the midst of the current surge in COVID-19 cases. However, according to him, micro-PPKM and lockdown have the same essence, namely limiting community activities.
Pemerintah memutuskan PPKM Mikro. Pemerintah melihat bahwa kebijakan PPKM Mikro masih menjadi kebijakan yang paling tepat untuk konteks saat ini untuk mengendalikan COVID-19 karena bisa berjalan tanpa mematikan ekonomi rakyat. Saya sampaikan bahwa PPKM Mikro dan lockdown memiliki esensi yang sama, yaitu membatasi kegiatan masyarakat, untuk itu tidak perlu dipertentangkan.
And as President chose micro-PPKM over lockdown, economic observer assessed that even micro-PPKM may harm the economic recovery as well. It is predicted that economy will suffer again this year.
The recent spike in the COVID-19 cases got serious attention from the government. Core Indonesia Executive Director Muhammad Faisal explained that the government must quickly learn from other countries to anticipate increasing trend just like these days, not just applying micro-PPKM. Micro-PPKM would have an impact on limiting space for the economy, both for formal and informal sectors. From sectoral side, retail sector, transportation, tourism sector certainly will become the most affected sectors. From the calculations of Core Indonesia, with the scenario before there is an increase of cases, economic growth this year can reach 4 up to 5%. But with the surge in COVID-19 cases, it is predicted that this year would lead into lower limit of the range of 3%.
Tapi dengan adanya peningkatan kasus, kami prediksikan ini kemungkinan akan mengarah kepada batas bawah ya untuk keseluruhan tahun 2021 di kisaran 3%.
To anticipate the worst-case scenario, the government needs to pay attention to effective policies, even though the impact on economic growth in the third quarter is not expected to be as high as expected. The government must also continue to provide social assistance up to stimulus for the retail sector. Jakarta, Rahaja Patmo for IDX Channel.
The ratio of budget financing through debt is under the spotlight of many parties. As of May 2021, government debt financing hit 330.1 trillion rupiah. The value is 28% of 2021 financing target of 1,177 trillion.
Minister of Finance Sri Mulyani Indrawati explained that until the end of May 2021, realizations of debt financing reached 330.1 trillion rupiah, or 28% of the whole target. The value consisted of realized government bonds of 348 trillion rupiah and loan realizations of negative 17.9 trillion rupiah, while Bank Indonesia's contribution reached 116.26 trillion rupiah. Sri Mulyani ensured that the debt financing was maintained amid easing financial market pressure. However, future volatility still needs to be watched out for due to rising cases of COVID-19.
Capaian utang kita mencapai 96% dari target semester 1 atau kalau secara keseluruhan 40,55% dari target keseluruhan tahun, yaitu kalau kita lihat sebesar 1.177 totalnya.
Sri Mulyani added that the 2021 state budget is expected to be maintained with a budget deficit target of 5.7% of the GDP. The state budget deficit until the end of May 2021 is also recorded at 219.3 trillion rupiah. Jakarta, Rahajo Pakmo for IDX Channel.
And moving on to global updates, SoftBank Ventures Asia has participated in the 27 million Series A round of South Korea-based artificial intelligence startup Voyagers. Meanwhile, mounting digital security threats from China, Russia, and elsewhere have driven the European Union to devise a joint cyber unit. More stories on today's International Minute.
SoftBank Ventures Asia announced that it has participated in the 27 million Series A round of a South Korea-based artificial intelligence startup Voyager X. SoftBank's Ventures, Altos Ventures, and Yellow Dog invested 9 million each in the round. The company develops AI-based solutions to solve everyday problems, and these include solutions such as V-Flat, a mobile scanner application, and video editing app so-called as Vrew. It also created Owlglyph, which has converted person's handwriting into personalized font. The fresh fonts will be used to develop more user-centric AI services and boost its headcount with the aim to hire 100 people by 2022. Japanese logistic company Hitachi Transport System will spend roughly 12 billion yen or around $108 million to build 4 logistics centers in India. From company's perspective, India has become a strategic partner for international shipping. The Biden administration's offered a ban on U.S. imports of a key solar panel material from Chinese-based Hoshin Silicon industry. The ban is over forced labor allegations that is done under the company. So far, United States has restricted 5 Chinese firms over rights violation. Mounting digital security threats from China, Russia, and elsewhere have driven the European Union to devise a joint cyber unit. The cyber unit is intended for launch by 2022 to coordinate a response to attacks anywhere on the bloc. Joint cyber unit will be allocated in the next new Brussels office of the EU Agency for Cybersecurity. The Computer Emergency Response Team for EU institutions, bodies, and agencies is an attempt to create a platform to ensure the bloc can provide a coordinated response to large-scale cyber incidents and crises, as well as to offer assistance to member states in recovering from these attacks. IDX Channel reported.
Stay tuned on us. Market headlines will be right back after this quick break.
Jika Anda adalah investor saham, Anda mendapat keuntungan di antaranya capital gain, yaitu keuntungan dari selisih harga beli dan harga jual saham. Dividen, yaitu pembagian laba kepada pemegang saham. Keuntungan lainnya, investor bisa memperoleh pendapatan tambahan dengan meminjamkan sahamnya melalui layanan pinjam-meminjam efek atau PME. Apa itu PME? PME merupakan pinjaman efek sementara berupa saham dari investor untuk keperluan penyelesaian transaksi bursa. Apa saja manfaat yang didapatkan? Investor memperoleh keuntungan. Investor tetap dapat menerima dana sebagai pengganti dividen jika ada pembagian dividen saat sahamnya sedang dipinjamkan. Pendapatan yang diterima investor dari layanan PME dapat digunakan untuk membayar biaya penyimpanan saham. Saat nilai saham turun, investor tetap dapat memperoleh pendapatan hingga mengurangi potensi kerugian. Dan yang terpenting, KPEI menjamin pengembalian saham yang dipinjamkan sesuai waktu yang telah ditentukan. Menarik bukan? Prosesnya sangat sederhana. Investor cukup menghubungi perusahaan sekuritas dan menandatangani formulir perjanjian PME. Selanjutnya, jika terdapat kebutuhan penyelesaian transaksi bursa oleh peminjam, saham yang akan dipinjamkan diserahkan kepada KPEI melalui perusahaan sekuritas. Setelah proses PME selesai, maka KPEI akan mengembalikan saham yang telah dipinjamkan dan memberikan pendapatan kepada investor melalui perusahaan sekuritas. Segera hubungi perusahaan sekuritas Anda, customer care KPEI, atau kunjungi website kami untuk mengetahui layanan PME. PME, pinjamkan sahamnya, dapatkan manfaatnya.
Orang yang bisa mau menguasai dunia, menguasai anak-anak.
Welcome back on Market Headlines. Regarding the plan to tighten monetary policy or tapering off by the Federal Reserve, Minister of Finance Sri Mulyani and Governor of Bank Indonesia Peri Warjo reminded the impact of the policy to be one of the risks faced by the Indonesian economy. And to discuss it further, already connected via Zoom, Hosiana Evalita Situmorang, economist of Panin Sekuritas. Thank you for joining us. Good evening.
Ya, good evening, Pak Fajar.
Yes, regarding our topic today, from the various statements of the Federal Reserve recently, will tapering off really be implemented in the near future?
Yeah, as we see in the Fed meetings in this June, and we know that by the anonymous vote, we see that the Fed will raise its benchmark, its interest rate, FFR, maybe in the 2023. But before, as we know, the Fed also already stated that the Fed will raise its benchmark in 2024. So it seems like the raising rate in the Fed will come faster. But before, as we see, before the Fed will raise its interest rate, so the Fed needs to do a tapering because as we see from the global financial crisis, when the Fed see the economy already hit up, and the Fed already did the tapering since 2013, but for the Fed to raise its benchmark in 2016. So if the Fed will do the FFR raising in 2023 or maybe 2022, so the tapering will come at the latest in the late of 2021 or maybe in 2022.
Okay, but has there any action taken by the Fed already since now?
Yeah. As we see, the statement from Jerome Powell, Governor of the Fed, already states clearly that the Fed will continue its government buying program as we know the quantitative easing. So the tapering will not come in this year, 2021, but we see maybe the probability tapering will come in the late 2022 because the Fed already stated that the economic recovery is still quite weak, and the inflation that we already seen is only seems temporary. And also in the part of some country in Asia, like we see in Southeast Asia, like Singapore, Thailand, and also in the emerging country, even Brazil already raised its benchmark, but like Turkey, but like India also, but like India, India still faces uncertainty for its economic recovery due to the increasing cases of COVID-19. So we see since the economic recovery is still not balanced in some countries, but maybe in Asia, but maybe in US and also in developed countries such as in Europe, already seems quite hit up due to its inflation already raising from its forecast. So maybe some central bank will still do the quantitative easing, but we see the tapering will come in late 2022.
Okay, since we know that the tapering of plan will be implemented quite far from 2021, but have the impacts of this tapering of plan already appeared in the Indonesian market specifically?
Specifically, we still didn't see the implication, but due to the rising inflation from expectation and also from forecast, as we know, the inflation in US already up to 5% for this May. So the implication only the raising of our yield obligation and also the raising of US Treasury yields. So the implication for the stock market is still some of the investor, but not all of the investor, because we see the investor is still in calm situation, because some indicator for the market stability, like a volatility index, is still lower from 30, and also our exchange rate is still quite stable. So that's why even the inflation in US is already beyond forecast, but the stock market is still quite stable. So the implication of a tapering we still didn't see, but the implication of the raising yield and also the inflation, is still a quiet impact to the market.
Okay. But I just want to know that what are the things that market participants in Indonesia need to anticipate or need to prepare if indeed the tapering of plan will begin in the next years?
Yeah, but maybe if before we start to prepare what will happen to the market if the tapering starts faster than our expectation, but we need to see clearly what is the indication that the tapering already started in US. But in the 2013, when the tapering started, we can see the yield of the obligation in US is decreasing, and also there is outflow from emerging and also Indonesia. But and also we see the depreciation of some exchange rate, and also Indonesia already faced depreciation up to 20% in the 2013 when the tapering started. So the implication to the stock market is clearly from the exchange rate depreciation, because as we know that Indonesia still facing some trauma due to the significant depreciation of exchange rates from the monetary crisis in 1998. But we can see now currently Central Bank of Indonesia already have foreign reserves higher than ever. It can cover up to 9 months. So in my perspective, I can see that how Bank Indonesia really can make our exchange rate stable. So investors need to put their portfolio into sectors that are defensive, but not only to cycle growth, but also defensive like banking, healthcare, and also digital and technology.
Okay, but how about the Indonesian government itself? What should they do in anticipating this tapering of plan, beside monetary authorities like Bank of Indonesia?
The government of Indonesia, besides of Bank Indonesia, I think it's a critical moment for Ministry of Finance and also other financial authority, due to they need to coordinate with Bank Indonesia how to boost growth. Because as we see after the tapering started 2019, there's some pressure to our growth and also to our exchange rate. Now, because due to this fundamental to be strong, as we need to put the investor perception still good to Indonesia, as we need to maintain their perception due to sovereign rating. So if the coordination of ministry can also boost growth, because as we see, if the tapering come quite faster, maybe in 2022, as we see the growth is still quite uncertain. So first thing that the government needs to do is like to make sure that the fundamental growth is already recovered.
Okay, so hopefully all parties or stakeholders are already anticipated with this condition, the tapering of plan, and of course anticipating the impacts, or we called it as taper tantrums. And thank you very much for your analysis today.
Yeah.
We'll see it another time.
Okay.
And stay with us on Market Headline. We'll be right back after this quick break.
Kini, aplikasi mClears hadir di handphone Anda untuk memudahkan transaksi Anda. Informasi aktivitas clearing dan penjaminan tidak lagi hanya dapat diakses melalui komputer di kantor Anda, melainkan dapat diakses di mana saja dan kapan saja dalam genggaman Anda. Fitur-fitur mClears. Equity clearing dan settlement adalah fitur di mana Anda dapat melihat posisi kewajiban settlement anggota clearing hingga nilai alternate case settlement serta informasi gagal bayar. Risk management adalah fitur di mana Anda dapat melihat posisi trading limit, kolateral, MKBD, portofolio harian, risk charge anggota clearing dan kombinasi, serta nilai minimum cash collateral. Derivatif adalah fitur di mana Anda dapat melihat posisi trading limit, margin call, dan informasi clearing derivatif. Terkait pinjam-meminjam efek, terdapat fitur mengenai borrowing information dan lendable pool information, serta lending revenue dan borrowing fee. Serta menu lain yang menampilkan informasi mengenai haircut, risk charge saham, dan nilai harga penyelesaian harian dan harga penyelesaian final. Selain itu, Anda juga dapat mengakses fitur pengumuman, peraturan, dan informasi layanan KPEI pada aplikasi mClears. Download aplikasi mClears di App Store atau Google Play Store. Lakukan registrasi user Anda dengan menggunakan alamat email berdomain resmi yang sesuai dengan anggota clearing Anda. Setelah registrasi, Anda akan diberikan kode OTP di email Anda untuk verifikasi. Dan aplikasi mClears Anda siap untuk digunakan. Anda dapat mengakses seluruh menu pada aplikasi mClears dengan melakukan aktivasi berlangganan premium yang dapat dilakukan dengan memilih menu Get Premium. Download aplikasinya sekarang, lakukan registrasi, dan dapatkan kemudahan dalam genggaman tangan Anda. Kemudahan informasi KPEI dalam genggaman Anda.
Pfizer Incorporate naik 2,2%, indeks Dow Jones menguat 0,.
Welcome back. At the Jakarta Composite Index intraday movement earlier today, JCI was open at the level of 6,040.21, and then approaching the closing time on the first session, the index was on the level of 6,015.04. And then the index was showing weakening trend by the second session closing time. Index was closed at the level of 6,012.06. In short, JCI went down 0.37%. And next, we're going to see the sectoral movement, the dynamics of today's trading. Industry, as the leader of strengthening, went up 0.66%. Cyclical went up 0.47%. Infrastructure, as the leader of weakening trend, went down 2.28%. And transportation and logistics went down 1.44%. And moving on to top gainers and top losers, here are the key highlights from today's trading session. Arto went up 0.36% to the level of 13,875. EMTK went up 1.6% to the level of 2,540. PNBS went up 14.81% to the level of 155, and Agro went up 4.24% to the level of 1,475 rupiah. Meantime, the top losers for today's trading, BBCA went down 0.32% to the level of 31,050. Telkom went down 3.56% to the level of 3,250 rupiah. Fren went down 2.24%, and BBNI went down 0.62%. And next, we're going to see the intraday movement of rupiah towards US dollar. Open at the level of 14,440. Rupiah also showing weakening trend towards US dollar, and was closed at the level of 14,457. In summary, rupiah went down 0.08%. Indonesia Exim Bank has received time loan facility from BCA of 3 trillion rupiah. The loan has 2 years tenure.
Cooperations between Indonesia Exim Bank and Bank BCA has run since 2016, and now it is on again as Bank BCA has given time loan facility to the Exim Bank. These facilities consisted of non-revolving time loan of 1.5 trillion rupiah, non-revolving time loan of 500 billion rupiah with a 2-year tenure, and there is additional non-revolving time loan of 1 trillion rupiah with 2-year tenure. Bank BCA President Director Cahya Setia Atmaja said that this funding support is expected to strengthen Indonesia Exim Bank's business strategy in carrying out the mandate of the law accelerate of exports. The Exim Bank and BCA funding corporations is expected to help accelerate national export growth through distributions of financing, guarantees, and insurance to export-oriented businesses. From all sources, IDX Channel.
Satria Antaran Prima targets profit up 27.65% in 2021, and to support the target, the company will optimize branch office operations. Satria Antaran Prima by the end of 2021 targets revenue to grow 32.86% to 600 billion rupiah and profit to 40 billion rupiah, up 27.65%. To support this target, the company will optimize branch office operations. President Director of Satria Antaran Prima, Budianto Darmastono, explained that the company will place sales personnel in all 209 branch offices, which will be carried out in stages, so that the branch offices that previously only functioned operationally can make sales as well. Furthermore, the company also plans to add counter agents and new clients to smooth out these various plans. The company has prepared a capital expenditure of 56 billion rupiah, which is sourced from internal cash. As for the first quarter of 2021, Satria Antaran Prima posted revenue of 129.84 billion rupiah, growing 19.52% from the previous 108.63 billion rupiah. IDX Channel reports. And step aside from market condition as coronavirus pandemic takes big role on current economic situation. Here it is an update data about coronavirus globally. And the news close our market headlines today. Please enjoy our next program on IDX Channel, your trustworthy economic, business, and capital market channel. And as the COVID-19 pandemic is still going on, please stay safe by wearing masks, keeping physical distancing, washing your hands with soap, and rinse it thoroughly with running water. I am Fajar Wayong. Have a nice evening and stay safe.
bisa masak sama teman-temanku. Pokoknya hari ini mau buktiin. Mau belajar masak bareng Chef Juna, abis itu nanti hasilnya aku posting, aku share. Biar kelihatan aku bisa masak. Nah, ini kayaknya udah disiapin nih bahan-bahannya sama Chef Juna. Ini apa aja ya bumbunya ya? Kayaknya harus tanya nih sama Chef Juna. Tapi Chef Junanya mana ya? Chef? Chef?
Nah, manggil-manggil.
Kan udah janjian mau minta ajarin masak, Chef. Lupa ya?
Bukan tahun lalu ya?
Tahun lalu, lama banget. Enggak, itu yang tahun lalu mungkin beda.
Beda apa? Beda minta ajarin?
Iya.
Yuk, kita masak ayam goreng ketumbar.
Ayam